Hey church, Buddy here, and I wanted to take a few minutes to share some things that we saw God do through our church in quarter 4 of 2020. I wanted to remind you of what's ahead, and I also want to share a little bit about where we are at financially. The last few months of 2020, it had us transition from worshiping outside to worshiping completely online, and I'm really thankful for everyone who worshiped with us each and every week. We were able to each week connect with people both in our region and people from outside of state as they were able to join us online. And many of you are using church online as an awesome tool to have further spiritual conversations and to make disciples. In children's ministry, we were able to continue to invest richly in the lives of our children with things like drive-by curriculum pickups, after-service Zoom calls. We even had a couple of recorded performances that were able to be shared and enjoyed as we were able to have our children lead us in worship on Sunday mornings. Since November, we've been able to do things like give an additional $200 a month to Good Samaritan Ministries in Johnson City, an additional $200 a month to Global Missions, as well as $200 a month to the Table Church plant out in Bristol. Thank you for helping us love those in need and equip leaders to plant churches. There are still many community groups that are continuing to meet both online and meet periodically in person. We are very excited to continue to lean on these groups to help make an impact both in the lives of people in our church as well as in our community. As challenging as 2020 has been, God is teaching us a lot as He is refining the church, and I'm very thankful for that. We will be stronger. It will simply require each of us to examine how God is asking for us to be faithful and then trusting Him enough to respond. And while we are excited for in-person gathering worship is now back, small group gatherings are beginning to become more normal again for many of us right now or in the months to come. We know God has so much more in addition to just gathering. Let's seek to connect, serve, give, and multiply, trusting that God is using every act of worship to do something very special. On the screen right now, you're going to see some graphics that share about where our campus and network are at financially at the end of 2020. Feel free to pause the video and take a closer look. The full PDF report will be available in an email this week. And if you do not receive our emails and you want it to be sent to you, please email me at buddynrcc@gmail.com to request it. And as you can see right here, initially, our giving for 2020 started strong, but as the year has progressed, there's been a steady decline in average weekly giving. But here's the thing, that being said, we're just very grateful for everyone who has given sacrificially over this last year. We know that many of you are very committed to seeking God's will, and you reflect that in your generosity, and God's using it. Seeking to be wise, like we have kept our expenses low, and we're going to continue to be creative and focused to steward finances across our network and resources to make the biggest impact we can as we look forward to the day where we're blessed, prayerfully with an abundance, so that we can be even more mobilized towards more of the dreams that God has laid on our hearts. As you can see right here in this graphic, we had budgeted to cover all of Gray campus-specific expenses, but we were not budgeted to cover our contribution to network shared expenses. And because of that, we were budgeted this year to have nearly $26,000 more of total expenses than our Gray contributions, as our network was planning to help cover some expenses. While our total contributions for the year were a bit lower than expected, we were able to make significant adjustments to our expenses, and this helped us track closer to our budget in 2020. We were able to finish the year with a net income of $9,300 better than expected, which left us just under $17,000 short of meeting our campus full obligations. As a network, we finished the year running behind projected contributions, as you can see in this graphic right here. But we're prayerful that all 4 campuses will continue to be able to be mobilized towards their goals as God provides, as He always has. Although we finished the year as a network behind projected contributions by about $137,000, limiting spending has helped us as we've been able to keep expenses as a network about $88,000 lower than projected, as you can see on this page right here. Despite doing our best to keep expenses low, our network finished the year over $48,000 behind contributions, as we have had to pull some finances from reserves to help cover that deficit. This quarter, your generosity will have a massive impact and will allow us to dream responsibly. As you can see on this page, we are cutting our budget back at our campus by 20% compared to last year's budgeted expenses to help us move closer to breaking even as a campus. That being said, in order to decrease expenses, we had to cut salary and benefits by about $23,000 for our campus, as well as some expenses in other ministries, which required much of our part-time staffing to take really big cuts. I am, however, very excited to announce we are budgeted to nearly double from a year ago our missions and church planning contributions, as we feel that must continue to be a priority for our church. This quarter, your giving will not only help our campus and our network continue to move forward, but it will mobilize us to begin to just dream again, as we know God has amazing plans for our community in Gray and beyond. Thank you to everyone who's given in 2020, and thank you to those who will give in the near future. If you haven't experienced the joy of sacrificially giving back to God and walking with Him in your finances, I would love to invite you to give to support the mission of our church by any of the methods on the screen right now, or you can give by cash or check on Sunday mornings. Please note, our new giving option to give a one-time or reoccurring gift is now available through our Church Center app, which is just an awesome tool that I know I've been enjoying using. And I really I think God's got a lot more for us going forward. That app's just one way to help us move forward. Thank you so much for serving, leading, and giving your lives to the kingdom of God with us. I love and appreciate you more than you guys know. And as always, don't hesitate to reach out and let me know how I can serve you. Love you all.